pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Page 1.
Okay. Should the secretary perform a roll call attendance, please?
Mr. Freno?
Here.
Mr. Saru?
Here.
Mr. Sachi?
Here.
Mr. Marinaccio?
Here.
Mr. Ferricino?
Here.
Mr. Fowler?
Here. Okay. All the members have received the minutes from the July 19th meeting. If there's no questions or concerns, entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, motion made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Our first item on the agenda this evening is public hearing regarding Myers Run LLC subdivision. Get a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Motion's made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Forward here is, but this is the forward to Derry.
Face the public with this, sir?
Yeah, I'm hoping that you're able to pull it up on the,
Screen should come up too.
yeah, you can pull up on there. This is kind of a new, this is a new thing for us tonight.
Putting the bugs out tonight.
Yeah. So I'm hoping this will make it a little easier, I guess, for everybody to see if we put it up on the monitors.
It'd be nice if we could each have our own monitor.
Good luck. Yeah, so you're getting pretty close there. Okay.
That's good for now.
So this is the Myers Run
So
subdivision.
same name for the record, and then we'll
That's
go
right.
through a description of the project.
Sure, thank you.
Okay.
My name is Michelle Zerfus with Berger Engineering, and with me tonight is Michael
Hold the
Lund.
mic up to your phone.
My name is Michelle Zerfus with Berger Engineering.
Yeah. Is it, yeah, it's on. Just have to hold it close.
I'm Michelle Zerfus with Berger Engineering. With me tonight is the developer, Michael Lund.
This one better?
Okay. Hi, I'm Michelle with
Hold it close.
with Berger
Okay.
Engineering.
There you go.
And with
Yep.
me is Michael Lund, the developer, and Joe Berger. And Myers Run is a 12-lot, single-family residential development on 22.9 acres. It's a combination of two lots that are going to be be combined through this project. The lots range from 0.9 acres to 2.8 acres. Access will be from Myers Corners Road on a new town road for 10 of the lots. There'll be a shared driveway for 2 lots. The municipal water on Myers Corners Road will be extended to serve these lots. Each lot, though, will have its own septic system. The current lot is pretty well wooded, and there'll be about 5 acres remaining of woods around the periphery when we're done. And the wetlands will also remain. There will be a small section of wetland, which is on the east side, which is right over in there. And that'll pretty much be untouched except for a little bit of 500 square feet to get the pipe, storm pipe, out to the stream. The stream runs through the site from south to north, right along through the wetland. There's a floodplain associated with it, but all of the project is basically in this area here. So we're staying out of the wetland, out of the floodplain. We're going to be using green stormwater practices of rain gardens on the individual lots and a bioretention for the road. And we will be responding to the engineers and the planners' comments, but I wanted to get the public comments first. We also received an email this evening from the county, and we're a little bit confused by the email because we've met with the county right out with a stake in the ground for this driveway, and the county had no issues with it at that time. But as I received this, too late to contact them today, I'll arrange for a meeting tomorrow. You may not have the notes, they just came, the county comments came in at,
Yeah, and I know it came out late
Yeah.
today.
It
I
came out
didn't get a
to-
chance to read it myself.
right,
so-
I got it at, it came in at 4:18, I think I saw it about 5:15.
Okay. But I mean, actually, we can discuss. If you have anything else that you wanted to put out there, but otherwise, we can discuss that now.
Okay, I didn't have anything else.
Okay. All right. You obviously, Pete, you actually read the,
Yeah, I read the email, and then I also had a discussion with, the county after I read it. And so it appears that they do have some issues with the common driveway. They're looking for some more information. But the main concern is a sight distance issue there. So that's something you'll have to meet with them and.
Well, I am the one who met with the county before we designed. The planning board may remember asked us to look at going out off the county. I actually met with the county engineer in the field and picked a spot that he liked. So we feel we have the site distance basically from not only the measurements we took, but from the interaction with the engineer in the field. So we're just thinking that maybe they don't understand the drawings. We didn't have a chance, we got it late tonight.
Yeah.
So we plan on contacting them and working these things out. We're confident it will work out. But again, in the proper way of doing things, I personally met with them to make sure that everything was right before we went and did the design. And then we did the design in accordance to the standards he told us to do. So we would have wished that they would have contacted us earlier so we could have discussed everything before the meeting. But we will be contacting them tomorrow morning. I'm very confident we'll work this out.
I mean, obviously, that's something that will have to get addressed,
Absolutely.
At some future date.
Oh, we're good, right away. We're going
Okay,
to resolve this very quickly.
all right.
I will forward this email tomorrow to B, and then she can forward it around to the planning board
To
members.
distribute it. Okay. All right. We want to review the letters first? I'll do that before I open up the floor.
I didn't bring my letters from last, I don't even know if it was last month, is it? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, July 28th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I guess he's got it.
I got it, thanks. You want me to go, or?
Yeah, you want to go first?
Sure. So a couple things we talked about, the county, already for the common driveway. We did note that, the footprints for the houses seem to be large. I think the footprint's around 3,000 square feet. And are these going to be single floors or those?
Two-story.
Two, that's a big house, and I think you're only proposing, what, a four-bedroom?
Four-bedroom
design?
system, yes.
Okay. And then we talked about the fact that there's a lot of grading that's for the lots that are overlapping property lines. So we talked about at the time of road construction that you'd also have to mass grade the site.
That's what we plan on doing.
Right. So I think we asked you to look at the, you know, the sequencing because I think you were trying to keep it under 5 acres, I believe, but at the same time, I think it was like limiting it to like a couple lots at a time.
Yeah, the 5 acres included phase 1 being the road and zero grade.
Yeah.
And once that was stabilized, the sequence of lots is afterwards. So our sequencing is to do the road and the overlapping grading. And once we have that established and it's stabilized, we will start building lots. Just several lots.
So I think I just asked you to take a look at the sequencing because, you know as well as I do that like a excavation contractor is going to want to get in there and be like efficient in his work and grade like more than I think that you're showing on the phasing plan. So that's just something for you to take a look
We'll
at.
look at that.
And if we, you know, depending on the final, on the final plan, I think we could certainly consider a waiver to go over, you know, the 5 acres if it meant doing it in a more like efficient like
Yes.
way, the way that they're gonna probably, you know, are gonna go do it in the field. So that's something we can, you know, go over. And then,
Okay. Absolutely.
I'm not gonna go through all the, you know, the comments. We had some comments on the SWIP. We also, one of the things that we had discussed as a board was the encroachment into the wetland buffer. So previous plans to this had the houses set back further towards the buffer. And then a good portion of the rear yard encroached within the buffer. So on this latest set of plans, the houses were moved forward
to the right.
some, but I believe that there's still, these plans call for about a 10-foot, if I'm right, like encroachment into, you know, the buffer for like several of those lots along the one side there.
Just to give it somewhat of a backyard.
Okay, so that's something that we'll need to like discuss, and I don't know if they submitted a wetlands permit yet, right? No. So,
Yeah,
So-
we wanted to get this all ironed out before we submit that.
Do we consider that
Go together.
encroachment into the wetland buffer? Yeah, it has to be mitigated.
so they're proposed,
Yeah.
so they are like proposing to use approximately 10 feet of the wetland buffer as for the house's backyard. You know, and Barbara had expressed a concern about there's always, you know, in the town, people want to put in pools and sheds, and so we just need to make sure that there's enough room that, you know, like they do
People
that.
could provide the amenities
Right.
later on that they're looking
Right.
to install on their properties.
Wasn't there only one lot that
Without-
had that? That was close like that?
No, I think there was
There's 3 lots like that.
3 lots or maybe
One
4.
tight, the other 2 somewhat tight, 3 altogether.
How much room is from the rear of those homes to the wetland buffer?
20 feet, 21 feet, 24 feet, and 22 feet.
So they would,
That's
so it
4.
would be prohibitive to put an in-ground pool. And
Unless we went, that's why we're asking for another 10 feet. That's just to the buffer itself.
And that would bring it to 30 feet and change?
It's, the 20 foot is on the closest end, in the middle of the lot, it's like 30, so it's, that's where this corner goes, it's not.
But does that 20 feet include the 10-foot change, or?
No, that's 20 to the buffer.
Okay, so it's 20, and then you would propose moving that buffer 10 feet to create 31 feet.
So the closest point where it is, the closest point would be on lot 9, which is 24 feet, because that's really the backyard. The 20 foot is on lot 10,
something be put on the map or in the deed so that when people are buying homes like this, they're aware of that?
Absolutely.
Because
We were reminding them
we've
about it.
had some subdivisions recently where people bought homes and either didn't find out till the day of the closing or didn't realize it till they came in to do,
We could certainly put them as covenants and restrictions for the attorney on that.
this way their attorney would see it.
We'll put them as covenants and restrictions, but we also plan on monument with monuments, putting them monuments along the buffer, out the way. along the
But the average person doesn't know what that
Well,
means.
hopefully the buffer tied into the restrictions on the deed, you know, certainly.
Will help.
Right.
We could put all that in covenants and restrictions. with the deed.
Yeah, I think our goal is to get into the chain of title so that the purchaser of these lots
I agree.
will see, when they do a title report, that there's these restrictions and covenants, what you can use it for, what you can't do with it.
I've done this
So
before,
it's
and
clear.
I'll work with you on that.
Yep.
That's absolutely the way to go, is covenants and monuments.
Yep, declaration of
Survey,
easement.
it's all documented right out the back, and it's on the plot plans, and there's no guessing. I agree.
Thank you.
Okay.
So those are our major comments.
All right.
We had obviously echoed that same comment.
Same thing as you,
As Pete described. We'd also mentioned that for section 240-20, you're going to need to show that the shared driveway is capable of having individual driveways across their own frontage. And that might be complicated with the county, depending on, you
We're
know.
working with the county. on that.
Exactly. So,
We
I mean,
need-
that will come out of that conversation, I'm sure.
That's, you know, we're packaging that all together.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And our other comment was that given the various sizes of the lots, that we would recommend consideration of a cluster or an average density subdivision as an alternative to investigate the feasibility of that.
I believe we discussed that last month.
We did discuss that last month, and flying with, because we've got it all, you know, it's compacted in, it's close to the,
Well, with septics,
Well, it's the
which
septic
requires
on the right
almost
side of the subdivision, right? That's the,
Well, you-
that's the issue.
It's just,
as tight as we
it's
can
as
get.
tight as we can get it.
There's no way to get this tighter with setback requirements by the health department. We pulled as close as we can together. And there is a lot of woods left out there around that side that are not being touched. So, you know, it's not the ideal cluster that you would get if you had sewer and water, where you can pull them a lot closer. But given a subdivision where you have septic systems and setbacks requirements from the septic systems, we feel this is as tight as we can get it, and leaving as much of the property untouched as possible.
And just like most clusters, we've got left some woods around the periphery, and around the outside boundary. There's just no existing woods here right now. That's why there's no woods there. There's no woods, no existing woods. So we've almost done like a cluster by putting everything in the middle, and having woods around the outside.
So we hope the board will agree with us. We've done what we can.
okay. All right. All right, well, if that's all, maybe we'll open up the floor to public comment. Anybody that's wishing to speak on behalf of this application, please come up. Come on up. Again, this is only comments for the Myers Run LLC subdivision.
Hi, I'm Robin LaCarrie. I live at 15 Red Hawk Hollow Road in the town of Wappinger. According to the letter from Berger Engineering and Surveying to Mr. Flower and the Planning Board, Myers Run contains an Army Corps wetland and a 100-year floodplain along the eastern boundary. There will be a disturbance in the wetland buffer zone of 100 feet from the wetland. Disturbance may be required within the 100-year floodplain for stormwater facilities. Myers Run will disturb 1.8 acres of wetland buffer. Lots 7, 8, 9, and 10 are within the wetland buffer line. Wetlands provide an abundance of essential ecosystem services: water storage, storm protection, flood mitigation. With Hurricane Ida, there was a substantial amount of flooding in the Balfour Road area. Wetlands help to soak up heavy precipitation and rising water levels to prevent flooding. Wetlands provide water purification through retention of nutrients, sediments, and pollutants. There are natural filters for water flowing into water bodies and groundwater. They protect water quality in our wells. They provide groundwater recharge. They provide an essential habitat for many plants and animals. The buffer zones within 100 feet of wetlands are critical in maintaining the health and productivity of wetlands. The destruction of wetlands and their buffers increase flood damage, nutrient runoff, and water pollution. I believe the town wetland permit should be denied. Myers Run will put 5,280 gallons of liquid waste per day into this community and use 5,280 gallons of water per day. As all companies will do, Myers Run is attempting to maximize their profits, however, at the expense of the town of Wappinger community, and I believe the town wetland permit should be denied. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that wishes to speak on behalf of this application?
Name is Charles Hulse, 277 Myers Corners Road. I live right across the street from this thing. You can't cram any more stuff on this. I mean, isn't there a way to minimize, like that woman just said, about what they're doing over there? I mean, literally every piece of real estate is, you know, trying to be maximized for building, and they're calling these 3,000 square foot houses are going to be mini McMansions, and all the water that comes from there is probably coming across to us, and we've already flooded. The last storm was atrocious, so I'd be very concerned about the water coming across the road and where it's going, because as it is right now, there's supposed to be a retention pond right across from Highview Road, and that's been deleted. That's filled in, it's silted in, and that don't do nothing. So all this extra water is really gonna be a concern. You know, not to mention, like I said, the septics alone are huge. You know, the soil's bad. So I hope that all the septics have 100% expansion and they meet all the requirements, because, you know, it's a bad area to be building on. And the other thing, for that common driveway with the site distance, that is an issue. So it's a very bad area right there for the site distance. It's for speeds, you know. It just seems like it's very excessive for that little area. So, you know, if they're within their rights, they can't do nothing, but I'm not happy about all the houses being in there. And like I said, the impact across my property is huge. So we're gonna get the full force of whatever goes on here. If it don't work, I'm screwed. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak?
Hello, good evening. I'm Gina Hertzog. I live on Myers Corners Road, 281.
My name is Cynthia DeMello. I live on 285 Myers Corners Road.
So the big concern, I would like to kind of piggyback on what that woman said so eloquently, is there's a lot of water, and the wetlands are not going to be preserved. There's wildlife that's going to be destroyed. This storm that we just had, you should come look at our driveway. We don't have a driveway. So with all of these extra homes, it's going to create so much runoff.
You have to use the microphone, right?
It's going to create so much runoff that it could potentially destroy our home. I just feel like somebody should talk to the people who live on Myers Corners Road and have a conversation. There's no consideration for that at all. I've lived there for 23 years. So where's the consideration to have a conversation of where this town driveway will be? Right?
Yeah, tonight we're just collecting information for the applicant to address. So, I mean, we're not here tonight to answer, to go back and forth with questions and answers. We want to know what your concerns are. Obviously, you have concerns regarding the water runoff in the wetlands.
Yeah, big, huge concern.
Yes. So,
Huge.
I mean, obviously, we'll have the engineer for the project, address it to confirm that, that the water will be managed, will be managed on the property. That it's not going to be running off.
Well, I would appreciate that, Mr. Flower, thank you.
I would like to know where all the water is going to go, because right now it is coming through my stream, and there is so much water for the last rain. I lost about 50 yards across, all the way down through my property, and we cannot cut the grass. 32 years we are living there. It never happened in the past. Now all the water is directed in my property, and my stream is done. And there used to be a pond across the street from us. That pond is finished. There is no more pond over there.
That's the retention pond I'm talking about. If they built that little dead-end cul-de-sac, that builder was supposed to put a retention pond in, and that's what she's talking about.
Okay.
That retention pond, and the water floods her property. I got videos. It's huge, very bad.
We cannot cut the grass at all. We have very little grass to cut. 33 years I have never complained. This is the first time I complained. Ever since they fixed the road, all the water is directed in our property.
Same, yeah, this big, you guys, I don't even know how much you spent to fix that road. I mean, we've had so many storms in the past, huge storms. We never got flooded, and our driveway was never an issue. So come
Okay.
drive by our house and
Did
look
you-
at it.
Did you reach out to the Dutchess County DPW
Yes.
regarding that with the work that was done and the water issues you're
Yes,
having?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
I called them, and the guy came over, and he saw it, and he said, if I was you, I would complain too. Yeah, those were his exact words. He said, I would complain too if it was my property.
Yeah.
I said, 32 years, have you ever heard me call you? He said, no. It's ridiculous. I can't cut the grass.
Yeah.
I can't walk in my property. The water came next to my home. The pool, around the pool, the water was gushing.
Okay.
If you had to come there, you would see what I'm talking about. And there is no way they can put homes on top of my house, above. Where is that water going to go? Right now, with all that rain, I'm getting so much water. And after putting 12 homes, where is that water going to go?
Okay.
It will be a swimming pool.
Yeah.
And also to kind of piggyback on what Charlie Hulse said, people fly on that road. Again, any one of you are welcome to park in my driveway when I get a new driveway and just watch how many people zoom by. So where is the proposed town driveway going?
Which, the roadway? If you can locate it on a map, it's just, I mean, it's shown on the site plan. I mean, I don't know how to exactly describe it, because it's not, I don't have any of the exact features there.
Can I show you
But
the picture, not to interrupt you?
we
So
we
you
need to
understand
kind of,
what this one is talking about?
I have pictures.
That's
right,
her
that's the
property.
water runoff. Yeah.
That's behind your
Okay.
house, but that happens on every occasion of when this weather gets bad. And without that retention pond being there, there's no place for it to go. So like she said, this is just success,
I have pictures too, a lot of pictures.
Yeah,
if you want to
same.
see. I don't have just one picture, I have a lot of pictures, plus I took a movie. Would you like to
Does the
see it?
planning board ever do site? Probably this is one that you probably do want to have them,
Yeah,
have them
same.
stake this out.
I mean, I just think
Well,
you need to take
Okay,
into
let's have,
consideration.
hold on, can we have just one conversation, please? Please. Please, one conversation. All right. So we need to, I mean, obviously you do have some water issues. I mean, your neighbor just showed us some significant runoff there. I think what might be in the best interest is we'll have, somebody from the town engineering department go out and take a look at it.
Yes.
And then they can go ahead and report back to the board to let us know what their feeling is regarding the issues on the, on your properties.
That's great,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, if I could get, you know, the name and a phone number. And then, you know, we'll call you and come out. But the other thing too is that this might be a good project to do a site visit on. And then if the applicant can mark the center line of the road
Yeah.
to, you know, the cul-de-sac, perhaps the planning board wants to, you know, think about a site visit. That's up, you know, to you guys, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
All right, well, okay, if you, yeah. All right.
Anyways, I hear right down your name and your phone number, and then I'll give you a call.
Okay, is there anyone else regarding the Myers Run subdivision? Okay, seeing there's none,
I'll give you a card too.
like to, if anybody wants to make a motion, we'll adjourn this.
So moved.
To a
Second.
date, future, hold on.
Oh, you gotta get a date?
Yeah, we need a date.
All right.
What would be one of the, which one?
Okay.
October
That's my
4th?
contact information, if you
Okay.
want to email me to.
So a motion would be to
No,
adjourn the public hearing to October the
no,
4th.
we do.
So moved. You second, yeah.
Okay, motion made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so that motion carries. So discussion regarding a site visit. What does the board feel? Do you wish to schedule a site visit to this site?
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, what would be the, would be a good, a Saturday better, or Sunday?
Are you looking at like this Saturday or Sunday?
Not this one, but let's say like either the 18th or the 19th.
Yeah, we would want them, you know, to stake, you know, the center line, or at least put
Yeah.
some, like,
We'll
ribbon,
stake the center line.
so we can figure
You
out
good?
where we
We'll
are.
stake the center line for
You
you,
have
all the
that
way up to the cul-de-sac.
By the 18th, you think you could have that done? Which would be, gives you a whole
That's not
week.
this Saturday, it's next Saturday.
Yeah, that'd be the Saturday after this,
That's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, okay,
More than enough time.
okay. So it's up to the board to, I don't know, who's got everybody have availability on the 18th?
Yes.
Yep, I do. I'm good.
Yeah? Okay, what time?
8.
What? 8?
7:30.
Fine by me.
AM?
Take it easy, we're doing Saturday.
Slow down.
Slow down, Lynn.
If you do 8, we might as well do 6.
Hot rod.
Okay, so how,
woke up early.
okay. All right, so 8 AM on Saturday, the 18th. We'll schedule a field trip.
What time?
8-ish.
8-ish, yeah. That would be the 18th of September. You have a motion to schedule the field trip?
Motion moved.
So,
Okay, motion made second by,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that carries.
we should probably take a look and see where we could park, because it's gonna be probably a problem with a bunch of cars. I mean, we can like resolve that before the.
We'll work out the logistics ahead
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
Well, even if we all kind of meet, even if we meet down the road.
Yeah,
And
we'll
then
figure-
we can kind of
and
carpool
go down there
together or
or
Yeah, we'll
whatever.
figure something out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
277 Myers Corners Road, right across the street.
there we go.
Plenty of parking right there.
Okay.
I'll be there waiting for you.
277?
Coffee and donuts?
Coffee and donuts, you better believe it.
Can I get-
Okay.
Can I get, like, your information, too?
Mr. Chairman,
Okay, thank you.
just for the record, just for the site visit and for the public, you know, there won't be any deliberation that day. It will be strictly for inspection purposes only for the board's operations. No action will be taken.
Correct.
There will be a, although.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yes, that's fine. Okay, cool.
Okay. Our next item on the agenda this evening is Over Creek Farms. The presentation regarding Duchess Land Conservancy.
No.
Yeah.
Gotta look into this stormwater pond because the county, people mentioned something about, I don't know what that is. We'll have to look at it.
Got logged out.
Hello, very much. My name is Karen Rue. I'm with the Duchess Land Conservancy.
I'm Alex Reese, Oak Creek Farm, 89 Hamburg Road.
So the Duchess Land Conservancy is a not-for-profit conservation organization. Our service area is all of Duchess County, and we primarily work with private landowners who wish to conserve their land by designating areas for either current and or future building, and then conserving, protecting the natural resources such as streams, wetlands, steep slopes, agricultural fields. Often people donate conservation easements. In this case, for some very special projects, we're able to find funding to purchase development rights. The crux of any conservation easement that someone conveys to the Duchess Land Conservancy is giving up subdivision rights that would otherwise, they would be, have the right to subdivide their property into smaller parcels and convey into separate ownerships. Alex Reese of Oak Creek Farm did contact us and expressed a wish to pursue conserving the majority of Oak Creek Farm property. I've provided here first a context map which just shows the location. This is right on the banks of the Wappinger Creek before its confluence with the Hudson River in the western portion of the town of Wappinger. You can see it's sort of surrounded by some pretty dense residential and some commercial use. And then I'll just the property has frontage on a number of roads: New Hamburg Road, where the primary farm store and barns are located, also on Route 9D, Mallerville Road, and Creek Road. The current uses are for a community-supported agriculture operation, as well as a brewery and then some hayfields. So the reason I'm here today is that we are applying to, or trying to apply to, New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets for a grant for financial assistance to purchase the development rights of the property. And as a component of that, they do require that we be able to provide a letter from the town planning board or planning official commenting on the risk of conversion of agricultural lands to non-agricultural lands. Any viable agricultural land, either the property itself or similar properties in the town and in the area. I don't know if there are any questions so far, or if you wanted to
I just wanted to clarify a couple of points. The area that is bounded in orange, that's land that I own personally, and that is land that I want to donate agricultural easements to Duchess Land Conservancy. The areas in yellow and some of the green is owned by myself, my brother, my sister, and my sister-in-law. They don't live in this area, and they are interested in benefiting somewhat from their inheritance, so that's why we're going in this direction.
Okay.
We didn't see the map yet, right?
Huh?
We haven't seen that map, right?
What, this map?
Yeah, we didn't get that, did
No, I
I
did
don't
not,
think we did. I don't think we got it. I mean, they're just presenting it
we? Yeah.
this evening.
Yeah,
Right.
so the site plan that is being proposed, it's 144 acres in total that's outlined in the yellow, for which that would be considered our project area. And of those 144 acres, the landowners are retaining the right to be able to sell it as 4 separate farm units. And the areas, the easement is broken into sort of 2 different use areas. Firstly, a farmstead area, which is the areas outlined in red that you can see there. North of Hamburg Road, there are 2 farmsteads there. One wraps around the farm store, barns, and an area for future building. And then the other wraps around an existing house. And within those areas is where any future building would be restricted and clustered. The other 3 farmstead areas you can see there currently do not have structures within them, but they are designated as the best places on the property in which to build a future residence or agricultural structures or commercial structures associated with an agricultural operation. They are, for the most part, as best as possible, off the agricultural fields, located off the prime soils, things like that that are important to conserve so that the property remains open and available for agricultural use. And the terms of the conservation easement would prohibit any commercial use of the property other than agricultural, which is tied to New York State Department of Ag and Markets definition of what a farm operation is. It does also allow commercial forestry, subject to a forestry plan that is approved by the DLC ahead of time. And then within the farmstead areas only, there are some small non-agricultural or forestry-related commercial operations permitted, such as like crafts, arts and crafts, or firewood operation, or something along those lines. Something that does not in any way inhibit the use of the property for agricultural use, but that does provide some income for the farmers to sort of get through, times when farming isn't going well, because we all know that it fluctuates tremendously. So this is the purpose that we have proposed for the property. We do believe that it is, as evidenced by some of the applications that you see before you, that there is, a threat of conversion to non-agricultural use on this property and other properties similar to it in the town of Wappinger. And one other final item I didn't mention, there would be a public walking path proposed along New Hamburg Road for anyone who would be coming from the New Hamburg Metro North Station, just on the other side of the Wappinger.
Sidewalk or walking path?
Walking path, yep.
Okay.
So the request is for a letter from the town planning board, sort of agreeing that
Yeah,
there is a.
I know you did provide us with a somewhat of a draft, but I guess it needs some other information from us.
Yeah.
Based upon, I guess, what our feeling that the use of the property could end up being subdivided into? Is that what you're looking for number of lots that potentially could be, that would, if if it wasn't going into the
No,
conservatory? I was just reading through this paperwork real quick.
Yep, in terms of numbers, what they're looking for is an actual accounting of proposals that have been submitted to the planning board within the past few years, past 5 years, say, that have shown efforts of landowners to subdivide their property, similar to this. So, and that could be for residential use, it could be for commercial use, it could be for large solar arrays, it could be for large parking areas, anything that's going to prohibit or take away the ability of that property to be used for viable agricultural operations in the future.
Okay.
And I did go through the minutes for the last few years, dating back to 2019. I did, sort of highlight a few items that I thought might be appropriate, and I'd be happy. I don't have background on those, obviously, so I'd be happy to go over them with, any of the consultants to verify whether or not they would be an appropriate comparison. But really, the state is just looking for sort of hard numbers that, can be verified. So.
Okay.
I just wanted to first thank you for listening to this. I wanted to give you the context. This farm has been in the family since 1850. It's been farmed actively since then. I know it would be really great to think of this continuing to be farmed in perpetuity. I have a whole bunch of young partners, young farmers, young brewers that I'd like to, when I kick the bucket, let them take over and do the same thing and keep it going forever and ever. That's the reason why we're here, and that's why we're asking for your help. Thank you.
All right. Any of the board members have any questions regarding this?
Yeah, I don't have any questions. No.
Okay.
No, I think that'd be great.
All right. I guess it's gonna,
I was just gonna say, with the board's permission, I'd be happy to work with Barbara and yourself to draft that letter.
that's what I
for the
was
board's-
gonna work with. I was just gonna ask the board is, we should at this point maybe to make a motion to approve to have a letter written in support of this land to go, for the, a letter of support for this to go into the Duchess Land
So moved.
Conservatory.
I second.
Okay, so the motion's made, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so the motion carries. So
Thank
we'll
you.
touch base with staff, and they'll get you the numbers you need, and we'll get something drafted.
Okay,
All right.
wonderful. I'll give you my. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So with that, our next item this evening is the vote on a lot line realignment, which is also on the Ober Creek property. There's an Ober Creek lot line realignment. Good evening.
Kyle here with Chase and Labella. You guys know Alex? Do you want me to turn this around?
Yeah, if you would, just kind of.
Okay, so we were here last month to go over the project, at which time you guys voted to have the resolution prepared. There's really there are no changes since last month. The description, I talked to Paul, he's just gonna look into whether we need just the description for the piece that's being transferred, or if we'll need it for the new parcel that's being created. The new overall parcel, it's the revised parcel. So there's no other changes, as we discussed last month. There's no effect on the calculations for the average density subdivision, and no effect on water or sewer. But if there are any questions that you guys have since that time?
Just to put it in context, this is a 50-foot change.
Right. So, but, pushing out the lot line.
It's just a little
Taking
strip
lot,
on the
taking
southern
that
side, right?
50 feet from the one lot and putting it, combining it with the other, just to make that one lot a little bit larger.
Correct.
Okay.
And, Mr. Chairman, just to clarify and answer the question, so what you're going to need is a description of the two newly created lots to be filed with the subdivision map.
All right, so we will prepare that and we'll submit it before final signature.
Okay, yep. Okay, question is, do we need to amend the resolution to add that as a condition, or?
They won't be able to file the map without them, so
Okay.
we'll just make sure that we have them before.
All right. So, with that said, you obviously had no issues with the resolution as it's been drafted? No? Okay. All right. So, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the...
I'll make the motion.
Resolution. Okay,
I'll
motion's
second that.
made. Motion's made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Our next item on the agenda this evening is Locust Tree Residential Properties, LLC, landscape business. Do you wanna take a recess here? Is everybody else set to go ahead? Yeah. All right, before we go any further, we just need to take a quick recess. All right, thank you.
Huh? 3 minutes.